Test 1, 2. I'll do a clap for my audio sync in just a moment. Hey everybody, how's it going? I am sorry for the terrible image quality. I didn't charge my GoPro up since I thought I'd be using the DJI Osmo, but after seeing just how bad this thing is in low light performance, I'm likely going to be returning it first thing tomorrow. I watched a bunch of videos on this thing, comparing the Osmo to the GoPro, because I was looking at getting a replacement action cam for my bike. And none of them really go over the fact that the Osmo is useless at night, which kind of sucks because I ride my bike a lot at night and I use it not just for YouTube videos so much as I do for, by the way, I know there's going to be a bunch of people saying that pedestrians have the right of way. That person was going through a red light. So, but I don't know if it's different in other countries, but in America, green light means go, red light means stop. But what was I saying? They don't go over the fact that at night, the DJI Osmo Action 4K is really useless. You have to use it in this HDR mode, but the HDR mode makes everything look really fuzzy and you're stuck at 30 frames a second. So for those of you wondering why this video is 30 frames a second, it's because I'm using this really, really, really bad DJI Action camera. And the other thing that killed me, I know I'm probably really being pedantic with this, and this is probably just me being picky. So I actually left the store and I planned on doing this video where I show you around the neighborhood in the area. I hit the record button, it told me I have to activate it, and then I just hit the button again. I'm like, no, you gotta be kidding me. Apparently, the only way to use the camera after buying it, you can't just hit the record button out of the box like you can on a GoPro or a Sony or a Canon or just about any other brand of camera on the planet. You need to install a 230 megabyte application on your phone that will not work without the location permission. Go, go, go. So you need to have location. Oh my God, what the fuck are you doing? Drive. You need to install an application on your phone that's 230 megabytes that will not work without location turned on. Then register for a DJI account, then activate it within that application. By the way, for those wondering what the blinking yellow lights are, those mean you can park anywhere. So the registration by itself told me this is probably going to be a shit product. And then when I turned it on, I thought, no, it's got to be broken. I have ISO set on 100 in manual. Do I? No, I didn't. It's just that bad. Even when I put max ISO to the highest it could go, and I put the exposure, the shutter time as low as possible. Nope, you got to turn on the HDR, fuzzy, stuck at 30 frames a second mode at any resolution in order for it to work. So that was kind of disappointing there. Anyway, I thought I'd show you around the city today, give you an idea of what it looks like. So this is Penn Station. This area is usually really, really busy, and it's totally empty, which is kind of nuts. That we're, at this point, like 5 months into this? I think Cuomo did the pause order March 20th. It's August 20th, and it is totally empty here today. It's crazy. So I'm going to ride through Times Square a little bit. Then I kind of want to show you what the shopping areas on 5th look like. It's a Thursday evening, so it's not really, it's not, like usually Friday night is where you see a lot of people go out, but Thursday night I usually see people start getting a little bit more crowded in the streets and more people going outside, in preparation for Friday. And as you can see here, it's really, really empty. Except for the honking. You'll always have people honking as long as it's in New York City. Honking and screaming at each other is par for the course, as is construction that seemingly never ends. I mounted the DJI Action Cam on my helmet. I usually don't do that. I mounted this one on my helmet just because I wanted to be able to look at the buildings and everything. I have this really bad tic I've had for a long time, and it's kind of gotten worse as I age, where my head does this thing where it does this and it shakes. It's really stupid, but I've never been able to really shake it for a long period of time. No pun intended. I can do it when I switch on camera, but I got to think about it, and it's really annoying. But when I'm not on camera, it's kind of constant. So I figured it would be annoying for you to see my head constantly stuttering. But I don't think there's really any other way to do it. So I want to show you what all the areas look like, and I can't really do it when it's mounted on my head. I mean, mounted to my bike, but I can when it's mounted to my head. So, whoa, that was a miserable pothole I just missed. Yeah, so we're gonna go to Times Square area. This area has usually got a lot of people in it. So Port Authority is to my left. It's a bus terminal that heads over to Jersey, and it looks really, really empty looking. You only got a couple of people outside. Here. At 41st Street. This is the New York Times building over here. That's New York Times. It's a nonpartisan newspaper, known for its nonpartisanship, as are all news mediums nowadays. It's a kitchen. I used to get food at Schnippers every now and then on my way to work. I used to work on 44th Street, 9th Avenue in the Film Center building, so I'd pass by here. That is a Microsoft store up there. Well, a few things in the world shittier than an Apple store is a Microsoft store. Come on. Vroom. Change, light. Change. Yeah, can you see these roads? Here, I'm going to point the camera down a little so you could... I'm not sure if you could see the roads, but they're pretty awful. Standard New York City shit fare. So this is Times Square area over here. This is 42nd Street. This is actually kind of starting to get a little busy again. Don't get me wrong. This is practically vacant compared to what Times Square usually looks like, but it's not dead. And it's been dead recently. So this is like, there's actually like, 5 or 10 people that I see over there. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's like 9 people on the right side of the street. So now we're going from total apocalypse to kind of what it looks like on the street of Brookfield, Wisconsin, or Olathe, Kansas. It's Harry Potter over there on Broadway. The new Victory Theater, thanks to all the frontline workers, it says. There's a woman in a green dress seducing me up there, but don't get the point of that. You can try, but I am taken. I am taken. Large television screen in Midtown. This is actually starting to fill up a little bit again. Yeah, those dudes are back in session. I remember taking one of those before I realized it was $5 a minute. That was stupid. We don't have to talk about how much money I wasted on that shit. Let's check out 6th Avenue. This guy behind me is really... I wish I could do a 360 camera, like a switch that I could flip behind me. This guy is like 2 inches behind me, which makes no sense because I'm going to a red light. I guess beating me to the red light is incredibly important. Let's see. Bank of America Tower building over here. It's Bryant Park over there. When I was a kid, I remember my dad taking me around Bryant Park, and you could see that there's one kid, and my dad points it out, and he's surrounded by 4 or 5 people. And he's like, watch this. And then 5 seconds later, he didn't have his cassette player, his Walkman anymore. Yes, I'm old enough that when I was a kid, people liked cassette players. Yeah. I'm going to go off to the side of the road here for a moment. I want to get bigger turn signals for this so that I can trust that people see them. And... like now they actually have these places where you can go and borrow a book, and they will trust you in the honor system to bring the book back, which is crazy. Just shows you how much the city has changed. Kind of curious whether or not it will be changing back. One way to find out, I suppose. So this here is 6th Avenue. This is the fancy schmancy part of 6th Avenue in Midtown. This is where all the fancy schmancy financial companies are, like UBS is a building somewhere around here. Yeah, there you go, to the left. The banks have buildings around here. So there's a Radio City Music Hall, some other fancy schmancy stuff. Yeah, don't let this fool you, because people get an idea that when they come to New York City and they see all these fancy buildings, if they like come to the Times Square area, they think the rest of the city is actually put together well. When in reality, most of the buildings kind of look like shitholes, like what I was showing you when I was doing my real estate videos, trying to find a place to have a business. It's like this area is ridiculously high, concentrated amounts of wealth and money. And it looks like it. Whereas the rest of the city, the parts where you could actually afford to have an office, do not look anything like this. You can see it's still pretty much dead. Lots of dead. I want to kind of show you the shopping areas on 5th Avenue because I want to see if any of those stores have succumbed to reality where you can't afford to have a business there anymore. Because a lot of the stores that you see on the 5th Avenue area, they have rents of like over $240, $300 a square foot. It's crazy. And these gigantic places and these beautiful old buildings. I think a lot of them are really only have that space because they want to advertise their business, and they think that they have this fantasy that they need to be in Manhattan for their business. Like, it's the opposite for me. I'm in Manhattan because I know that for the most part of my business, for the most part of my life, I was a nobody. You know, if I'm not here, people are not going to know to find me somewhere else. Now that's starting to change, you know, the whole 1.2 million YouTube subscriber thing. Oh, by the way, look at the roads here. Tell me this is not a third world country. Look at this. 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 What the fuck is this? Oh my God. But yeah, but like, if you're a multi-billion-dollar organization, you probably don't need to spend $300 a square foot or whatever to have a store that's a loss leader in Manhattan on 5th Avenue. But then again, they don't become that wealthy by listening to advice from me. Jesus Christ, look at this. I don't know if you can see the roads at this angle because I don't have the ability for the eyes to come out of my head and see the screen on my helmet. But jeez, like, what is this shit? I remember there was one video where I was saying I don't want to have a bike that has really small tires for the road. You know, I want to have thick tires for the road. I don't like thin tires like the 700C 38 that I had on my other bike. This is why. Because if you have a bike with really thin tires and you ride down a road like that, rip wheel. Rip balls. That's a fancy schmancy building over here, 689 5th Avenue. So I'm kind of interested in finding the stores that are no longer operating. You know what I should do? I shouldn't assume that this piece of shit DJI is actually still recording, and I should check it periodically. So I'm going to do that right now. Yep, it is still recording. 13 minutes in. Just wanted to check. I'll give it that, because there would have been a 50-50 chance that my GoPro would have crashed already. So I will give the DJI that it doesn't crash, you know. So far, at least. So far. A lot of the videos I do on my bike, usually it's like 2 or 4 videos stitched together. I have to watch where I'm going through the damn GoPro to make sure that it doesn't crash. Yeah, so this place looks like it's out of business. I don't know the name of it, but because they ripped the sign off, but they're gone. It's one of those things where when it is illegal to be in business, illegal to open, makes it difficult to pay rent and all that. Let's see. Yeah, there's really nobody on the avenue. Interesting. I'm gonna ride by the areas where there's more people, like going out to restaurants and partying and all that stuff in a few. Victoria's Secret over there. It's nicely boarded up. This is a really fancy schmancy church over here. That's the NYPD, wave high to 20 miles an hour. All right. I gotta say, I'm really loving the air suspension fork I got for this. It's a Manitou fork. My other bike is a coil fork. Man, I'm a total snob now. Like, air suspension fork is effing amazing. Once you get it tuned right and you figure out exactly how much to pump it up, it is beautiful. You never want to go back to a coil ever again. Like, when I see bikes with coil forks now, I just assume that they're for show. It's just not the same. Yeah, G-Star Raw is boarded up over there. This used to be my old bus stop when I worked in the Film Center building. You can see the streets are pretty much empty here. I'm kind of curious what it's going to look like when we get over to the... See that? I stopped right at the line. Disc brakes, baby. 180 millimeter rotor for the front and the back. Not like them bikes that have 160 in the back and 180 in the front. That's my cycle analyst over here. I don't know if you can see that. Doesn't look like this place, whatever it is in business anymore. Or that one. Retail space available. Sign up there. This one has a bunch of paper everywhere. I do really wonder how they're going to be able to pay for all the services that they want to offer in the city and all the people and all that when you have no tax revenue. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. Talking about this in Discord yesterday. Like, I would not want to be de Blasio right now. Because you really are stuck between a rock and the hard place. The people want you to tax the billionaires. The billionaires can easily leave the city to another state. There's not really anything to keep anybody here, much less billionaires that are being taxed, because there's nothing to do since everything is closed or went out of business. You have two really conflicting cultures of people. When I go through the protests, it's kind of like a bunch of people that really dislike de Blasio because on rare occasions he will kind of side with the police, and a bunch of the Staten Island and Long Island like police kind of crew that really hate him because he doesn't side with them. And it's like he's not left enough for, or he's too left or not left enough for any individual in the city. So he's kind of hated by all sides. Like, I really wouldn't want to be him. I don't know how it is that I would be the politician that covers... It's like you have Archie Bunker on your left and Carlos Maza on your right, and you need to figure out a way to make them both happy. Except there's thousands of them. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I see some more people outside. Like, I see 3 people walking together there. I kind of want to take a look at what Broadway looks like in a few and stop going down 5th. That's the Museum of Sex over there. Journey into the Erotic Carnival. A competitor of mine used to host parties there. I never stopped to ask him what they were like, and, well, I probably never will. Because that's weird. Oh. Fear My Bell. I'm gonna make a left onto Broadway over here. My left turn signal. I have a turn signal now. I'm advanced. Paul was suggesting I actually try to get this registered by the DMV as an experimental vehicle. Something tells me that wouldn't go very well, but I kind of want to try it. I think it'd be fun. Police line, do not cross. Yeah. Yeah, this looks like it's closed for business over there. To my right, and right up here. Boarded up and gone. Building for lease. Not even just a store, building for lease. That's empty. WeWork, LOL. Yeah, they're gone. Actually, no, they're not, because someone decided to give them another $1 billion. Oh no, this was a really cool setup store. I never went inside whatever was in there. I forget the name of it. But I always said someday I'd like to go inside of it just because of how well they set it up. It had this really nice, like 18th, 17th century rich person-ish home vibe to it in the middle of Manhattan, and I always liked it. And now it's gone forever. That kind of makes me sad. I always wanted to see this. Now it's gone. Yeah, let me show you. It looked, you have to see it when everything was set up and staged inside. It's not the same now because it's all empty and like you can see where the floor is fucked up in the middle and all that. But this looked really cool back in the day when I remember walking by here on the way to work. It really did. That's fucked up. That was a cool place. Kind of makes you wonder if they couldn't survive. How am I? Oh man, that's the thing. A lot of these places that had more money than me, gone. Look at this, retail leasing. That's open. This is a very pro-Trump place right over here, by the way. You should look it up online. Fish's Eddy, very MAGA. I'm obviously being sarcastic for the keyboard warriors out there. They always have something in the window, something political in the window. I would stop and take a look at it every day. It's kind of like a real life political comic they usually hang in the window every day. They put like the fact that someone put effort into that is interesting. I never wound up looking it up to figure out what they sell or what they do, but I'd see it on the way to the gym every day because I'd have to go up 19th to go to the gym. That over there is a mobile home. That is, yeah, right over there. That's hopefully I have not had too much of this head tick, or at the very least if I do, hopefully that stabilization thing kind of hides it. Sorry if I have. Never really figured out a way to get rid of it. Tried many numerous things, and unfortunately this kind of stuff just gets worse as I age. I'm a lucky man though, in that I have great people that work at my business that are able to do board repairs and stuff like that better than I am, so that I don't have to worry about steadiness of hands and stuff like that. Look at this, another one. Retail space for lease. Damn. You know, I don't know. This is gonna sound really salty. I don't know if it makes sense to say. It's kind of vindicating, because for years, as I've said, I've never been able to get a real, honest to God, from a bank business loan. I've had, a guy at a recording studio that I work with. Look, another place, real estate, open. That loaned me $7,000 in the very beginning, and then wanted a partnership after I paid him back. A sizable amount from an actual financial institution. It's never really been something that's been in the cards for me. And they would always give me this list of reasons why it was supposedly a risky investment. And I just gotta say, I am we started from shit. I could survive getting screwed over by contractors. I can survive my old place buildings going on fire. I can survive a pandemic, a recession, rioting, the global depression. My business opened in a recession. And it's been 12 years, and at some point I really do wonder, are we as a society, or at least the financial part, going to start valuing businesses that just good old-fashioned make net profit? Like, it may not be skyrocketing exponential net profit every year, but every year makes a little bit more net profit than the year before. Every year offers services that they didn't offer the year before. Every year offers some value that they didn't offer in the year before. And every year just gets a little bit better. It goes from 1 employee to 3 to 5 to 10 to 12 to 14 to 15. Goes from outsourcing this much to this little to eventually not really outsourcing anything. At what point are we going to finally start valuing businesses that have the fundamentals to where they can survive a recession, depression kind of thing and not have to give their employees pay cuts? Because so far, I haven't given any pay cuts. I haven't been cutting hours of the people that I intended to keep at the very least. I've kept numbers of staff pretty much where consistent, if not growing. And I'm thinking, maybe now is finally going to be the time where people start to value businesses that that are actually viable. And then I see SoftBank or whatever give WeWork billions more in an economy where real estate was tanking, where even at the top of the economy, the top of it, was not able to turn a profit and still lost millions of dollars a day. And then I just think, LOL, no. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, I'm the last business that any of these financial institutions or people would give money to in New York City. And just looking around, just looking left and looking right as I go down each street, I also think I'm going to be the last one that's left. Like, look, another retail space for lease. Another one. They're everywhere. This whole freaking city is for rent right now. My landlord's probably not the most happy with the particular arrangement, or payment schedule I have right now, but they're not getting zero. Not getting the entire thing that they want, but they ain't getting zero either. I'll take you down one of the avenues where they have a lot of kind of fancy schmancy, I shouldn't say fancy schmancy. They're actually shitholes, but they're, a bunch of bars and restaurants in a line for kids to be partying and doing all the things that the kids do nowadays. I sound so old. Oh, look at that retail space for lease. Oh, this place is gone. Bye-bye Gotham Pizza. Like, this whole city is gone. And, my experience with renting a space, people would keep the same high prices that they had before, even after being empty for 3 or 4 or 5 or 7 years. I went back to some of the places that were empty when I was looking to rent my place in 2011, and they were still not willing to lower their prices. I actually kind of want to check one of them out right now. It was on Broadway. Yeah, I already went all the way over here. Probably doesn't make any sense to go back. I think it was between 10th and 11th on Broadway. I'd like to check it out and see if it's rented. I bet this place has not been rented in 9 effing years. They wanted something like 30,000 or something. I think we offered them like 15 or 12, which is actually really stupid of me. I was doing something stupid back then because I couldn't afford 12 back then. I could barely afford the 3 or 5 that I was paying back then. But I thought maybe I'd grow into this. I had that stupid mentality of maybe you'll grow into the space or make something of it or whatever. Really stupid, kind of egomaniacal shit. That would have killed me, so I'm kind of glad that I got the smaller space that I did. It was on Broadway and 10th, but it was gigantic. That area was also closer to all the colleges and all the money than the First Avenue and 12th location was. First and 12th is a little off the beaten path. Don't get me wrong, you're still within walking distance. It's just you're not like in the backyard of NYU and all the schools in the area and institutes, and you really want to be in the backyard of them in order to be the first one that they consider. Once the YouTube following and all that's there, then it doesn't really matter. But I didn't have that back then. I didn't even upload my first video remotely related to me until 2012, the end of 2012. This was the end of 2011 that I was looking. Here we go. So this is going to be Broadway over here. Okay. I had my first good date ever in that restaurant that's now a bank. I know I keep mentioning it, but it triggers me when I go over there and I see that it's a shitty Santander bank. Okay. Let's see. It was right across from the church, I believe. I bet this thing's still not rented. I bet that they're so effing stubborn that they let that shit sit there empty for probably 9 years because I want my 27 to 30,000, and if I can't get it, yeah, I'd rather lose money than get less than what I wanted. For those wondering why I'm going in front of I'm desperate to get in front of the buses. It's because the being behind a bus, it smells absolutely god awful, and it's probably not really healthy. So buses and garbage trucks, I usually will do anything I can to get in front of them. Okay, here we go, between 11th and 10th. Shit, this is all covered with construction. Looks like they leveled the whole building on the end of this block. Alright, here we go. It was this one. Oh my god, this shit is still fucking empty. It has been 9 years, you stubborn cunts. Yeah, they wanted over 20, they think they were around 27,000 for this. This is back in 2011 too. I'm not sure if you can see inside here all too well. So I'm gonna get my high beams on. Actually, I already have my high beams on. Yo, this is actually smaller than my current store. This really is smaller than my current store. Here, let's see, I'm gonna put my camera to the window of it. One moment. Yeah. Pull this. Oh, the battery's actually lasting decently on here. There we go. Take this camera. Probably going to be sending back because of what I explained earlier. Yeah, this is it. 27,000 for this. And if you think that's big, keep in mind that this is with the fisheye shit of an action cam. It is not as big as it looks on my screen. Don't quote mind me there. Yeah, like I'm just bringing this up again. I'm showing you it just to make the point to you, for those who don't understand, that this stuff really does stay empty for. Like they will fucking leave the building or the space open for 10 years, rather than just accept slightly less. And I really have no reason to believe that coronavirus will make anything any different. You know, they're not going to think every business in the city has been destroyed, as proclaimed by de Blasio and Cuomo. As is the law. If you go out there and try to make money, you are breaking the law. They're not going to understand that this is probably not the best time to be asking for the most amount of money, but I don't think they're going to care. I really don't think that they care at all. I think that the individuals that own these buildings have so much money that they legitimately don't care. And I don't understand it, because I don't understand how you make that much money if you're that stubborn. You know, you usually make money by taking what you can get to some extent, not cutting your nose to spite your face for 10 years. But it works. Like, who am I to argue with what works? Another one that's empty over there, by the way. Alright. Let's head over to the area where I expect more people to be outside. Retail space for lease over there. I actually stopped by that. I forget exactly what they wanted, but I remember that it was ridiculous when I asked. Come on, come on. I don't know how I feel about those residential properties where they have the ceiling to floor glass window and it just with no drapes. It's like I can just go out there and touch your apartment. It's kind of weird. I don't want to live without privacy. That's really I don't know. I can't do that. Too weird. back here again. Left, right, nobody there. Let's get that. Vroom. Let's head over to St. Mark's Place. There's definitely going to be some partying people at St. Mark's. All right, what do we have here? Oh, we got kids outside. Oh. Bagel Cafe. Da 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 da. It's a strange looking building up there. Walk, green, red. Green for walk, but not for bike. Huh? Strange. There's an old competitor over there. Sold his business to start a bar. Well, now that's going. All right, so you got outdoor dining. Here we go. This is the New York I remember. Now, it's still way less crowded because it used to be I couldn't even ride my bike down the street when it was late at night because you have so many people walking up and down it. Yeah, this may seem lively to those of you who live in more quiet areas, but by the standards of the East Village or St. Mark's Place, this is really dead. This is pretty dead. That place had decent tacos late at night, burritos. It's a great place to get a fulfilling burrito for about $7 or $8 at midnight when everybody else that makes halfway decent food is closed. Nice good old graffiti. Maybe COVID-19 posters. To my left is a subwoofer rattling. That's awful. Oh man, if you're gonna have bass that sounds that bad, just don't have bass at all. Don't have bass at all. Let's get away from that awful, terrible quality bass. Get yourself a Sue Research subwoofer. Sue Research. Dr. Possessu. Get rid of that cheap crap. Whoa, pothole. Every now and then you're going to see a manhole cover that goes like 4 or 5 inches into the ground, and you just want to run away from that shit because for obvious reasons. All right. There's a little bit of traffic there. I'm a bicycle, so I just go around. That used to be a rehearsal studio. I think it was Ripley Greer's over there. I could be wrong. I think that was Ripley Greer's. Now it is closed. Craig Derry had his vocal coaching class there for a while. Craig Derry, Clarell Henderson. Very, very good vocal coaches. Talented vocal coaches. Really good at like figuring out how to get people to want to continue working and succeed even if they're not getting where they want to go. Shout out to Clarell if he's watching this video. Okay, does this mean I go or no go? Okay, bike has a little green thingy on it. The bike has a little green thingy on it while they're allowed to make a left turn. So that sounds like death. We'll see. All right. I don't know if this video is good or coming out like total shit because I can't see my... I don't even really know if this is the right angle for the camera to be at. Suppose we'll see later. Man, I know I'm repeating myself like a broken record, but God, this DJI is so fucking disappointing. Like, even the low light shit aside, how the fuck are you gonna make me install an application, sign up with you, and require my fucking location permission on my cell phone to be able to hit the record button on a goddamn action camera? Like, you guys got nerve. I'm returning it on principle alone after that shit. Because GoPro may be a piece of shit, and their application may require location permission at all times. However, I don't have to use the app to use the camera. Yeah, that stings. I kind of feel like I compromised my principles by activating the camera rather than returning it right then and there. Like, the moment it said, you cannot hit the record button without activating, if I had a set of like really good core principles, I would have just told them to go fuck themselves. And just sent the shit right back right then and there. And I didn't. And I'm kind of disappointed at myself for that. That kind of... Yeah, that... This is Delancey Street. This is kind of the Lower East Side. Going from the East Village to Lower East Side. On the weekend, there's usually a bunch of bars out here that have people out the door dressed really, really nice because they're going to a bar, and, you know, I guess that you have to dress really, really nice if you're going to drink a bunch of poison, I suppose. That's a thing that people do. I think the idea is to socialize with people that you hope to bang, and that if you look your best, there's a higher probability of banging them. It seems kind of boring, though. The whole idea that I'm going to go out to a overcrowded place, wait in line, drink shit that kills you, in the hopes that and I'm going to pretend that I'm doing all of this for fun, when in reality I just want to meet somebody, rather than just going and meeting someone through a more dignified means. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to do something in the hopes that something else happens. Does that make sense? Like, if I want outcome B, I don't want to pretend I'm going out for outcome A and hope that, but what I really want is outcome B. I don't know if I'm making any sense there. But I find the entire process to just be one that kind of lacks dignity. Like, I'm going to pretend I'm doing this, when in reality I really want that. But I have to pretend I'm doing this. All seems stupid. That's some fancy schmancy building over there for people that make a lot more money than I do. Any of these see that little like glass tower shit? That's a glass tower thing over there. That's a glass tower. Those are buildings that are probably put together nicely on the inside, but they're not for you or I. They're for people that bought Bitcoin when it was $10. All right, here we're heading up to the Williamsburg Bridge. That's the U-brake I fix over there to the left. They sold their business to Assurian, one of the most beloved insurance companies performing quality repairs. Dude who sold to Assurian can probably afford to live in one of those buildings. This is the Williamsburg Bridge. We actually got a lot of people out here compared to normal. There's a lot of people out here compared to normal. Like, usually there's nobody on the bridge when I've been going home over the past few months, but there's a lot more now. Look at that adorable little arrow bicycle to my right. Actually, that's not an arrow. Never mind, I thought that was an arrow. Do you go vroom with the swiftness, vroom with the swiftness? There's something really fun about putting 4,000 watts through a 1 kilowatt motor. And I know what Black Moons is going to say. He's going to say what he always says. Here's what you're supposed to do, Lewis. You buy a 3 kilowatt motor and then you put 3 kilowatts through it. But that's no fun. I want to put 4 kilowatts through a 1 kilowatt motor. Don't tell me what to do, Black Moons. Don't tell me what to do. You got your standard graffiti everywhere, as you can see. So we got going to Brooklyn. And New York City is really just kind of becoming a coloring book for this bridge is really just kind of turned into a coloring book at this point for hipsters. Got a guy in a scooter to my right. Guy doing what, I don't know what the hell to my left. All right. By the way, this is a nice view. I can never show you this shit because my camera is always looking to the right. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Nice view of the East River. These are fancy schmancy buildings around the north side of Williamsburg. The north side of Williamsburg is where you have more of the hipsters that have like it's not like the south side of Williamsburg is kind of like hippies. The north side is hipsters. So hipsters have a little bit more, a little bit more of the holier than thou attitude because they can afford to live in a fishbowl kind of thing. But this is still, I guess, technically the south side because we're on South 5th, but it's more north than, let's say, well, the area where I'm going to be heading on my way home. What was I doing? Yeah. Damn, his brakes sound like mine on my other bicycle. Yeah, he's using his foot to stop there. See that? That's what we call the Flintstone. I've been there. I've done what he's done before. It's a shitty place to be. It's called the Flintstones. That's... I check my brake pads in this one regularly now, and I have 2 spare sets in my bag. Man with a van. That's a beer can over there inside of a plastic bag, in a paper bag. As you can see, after finishing the beer in public space, the natural thing that you should do is toss it on the ground. That's New York City. That's like that in and of itself is a really good metaphor for the city. Like every street is lined with tissue, paper, cups, broken glass, like fucking cans everywhere. I touched upon this in a recent video, but it really is something that I think applies to most of the people here. You know, people treat the area like this because they don't really own anything, and you're never going to own anything here. It doesn't matter how long you live here. If you're someone like me, like I could do business where I do business for the next 20 or 40 years, I will never be able to afford anything in the building that I work in, ever. I will never afford that. It will never be mine. It'll always belong to somebody else who's going to come fucking complain and send me text messages like I'm a goddamn 9-year-old that stole shit out of the cookie jar if I use a drill to hang a plaque that a fan sends me on the wall at 8 p.m. You know? It's 5 seconds. It's like you're never really gonna afford a nice home here, and it's not really yours. So when people kind of wonder why does everything look like shit, why is everything like put together like shit or handled like shit, that's kind of the way people treat shit when they don't really own it. You know, when you see like the kind of the rioting stuff and the looting shit, like a big part of that is, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm for it. I'm one of the people who I'm more likely to be looted than to be a looter, and to be on the, you know, negative end of having everything of mine that I've worked for destroyed if it happens to me. But like the people doing that, you know, they're walking past stores every single day that sell shit that they can't afford with no gate, just, you know, making it obvious, like in the window, here's all the stuff that you'll never be able to afford. In buildings that have apartments that cost $22 million, where like maybe if you find a budget deal, it's only $5,000 or $10,000 a month to live there. Like they don't own it, but they're never going to own it. They can't even afford to rent it. They can't even afford to borrow it. So it's not, when nothing is yours, this is kind of what you get. You kind of get this, like, I'm just going to throw shit on the floor. Who gives a fuck? It's not mine. It's not my community. Yeah, I'm borrowing it. It's not my place. I'm borrowing it. Would you like to go faster than 2 miles an hour, please? You know, the cars behind me are going to kind of want to hit me at some point. Thank you. I like that. I like stopping in the middle of the street. Surprised that nobody behind me is honking already. By now, usually they would be. Often when something like that happens, what they think is that I'm pedaling and that I'm purposely pedaling really slow in the middle of the road just to piss them off, rather than the reality that I'm slowing down because a car in front of me is slowing down. Because usually they see the bike and they assume, oh, look at this fucking jackass bike in the middle of the road, pedaling at 10 miles an hour. We're in New York City. Yellow means go faster. Red means stop. This is a really old Hasidic Jewish neighborhood. So before, this is the really interesting thing about New York. Like, you got all those buildings that look like this futuristic, crazy shit that just got built 10 minutes ago, best of technology, right next to shit that's like 120 years old. That looks like shit. It's really weird. The lack of consistency is another thing that's really kind of... lack of consistency that is consistent to most of the city. You got your Hasidic Toys R Us over here, Toys for You. Satmar meat, whatever that means. Meat of Satmar. Oh, volunteer firefighter. Man, that's a job I wouldn't sign up for free. Probably not even for money. I'm a sissy. I don't want to burn under burning buildings. No. But thank you to the people that do decide to do that. I appreciate it. Alright, this is the side of the road where everybody behind me is going to bug me to go above the speed limit, but they can't because I just made the light and they didn't. So now I can actually ride at a peaceful speed. Usually when I get to this stretch, people forget the 20 to 25 mile an hour speed limit in this area and just like they want me to go 40. And I go, no, and then they all wind up passing me. Make the light! Vroom! When the liquor store in my neighborhood is out of business, that's how you know the economy's really bad. Don't know how you're coming back from that. Okay. I'm the only vehicle here that's silent. I'm surrounded by... So wasteful. Get a Bafang, people. I want to get a Cessna 402 and electrify it. I think that'd be fun. Electric Cessna. I'll make it work. Oh, fuck you. No. No. You're not making a left on me. No. I see what he's trying to do. What the fuck? I hate when people do that cutting you off shit, especially when they're in a fucking van. I saw at the corner of my eye that left turn signal start to come on. It's like, hell no. So many times someone's cut like to the lane next to me from behind me and then tried to make a left to get in front of me, but when they're not far enough in front of me that they're not going to hit me. Very annoying. Whoa! Look at this road. Holy shit. What a booby trap. What a fucking booby trap. Oh my god, I gotta get off and show you that. That was hysterical. I would have just ended my life right there. Now, I'm gonna wait until the cars are passed, and I gotta show you that. Whoa. Beautiful New York City right here. Alright. We're close to a red. Yeah, I was riding right in that middle section. Alright, do you see this shit here? Look at this. This is the size of half my fucking hand right there. Jesus. Anyway, that's it for tonight. See you all later. And as always, I hope you learned something. Don't buy DJI. Very bad products.